Hey,
Hello, hello, hello.
how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm
Good.
just glad that we got in here because I was having one heck of a time getting in here, and I was like, "Oh Lord," that's why I was like, "Don't worry, it's not that serious. We'll get on in here at 2 on my side."
No technology. And it's storming here, so mine
Yeah.
might be a little spotty too. Yeah. It's
Oh,
been
I'm
all
back
week
in the house
long.
now, so it's been
Okay.
pouring down here too. All right, let me set it up. We got a couple people waiting to get in.
But
Let
my
me.
garden loves it though. I'm not mad about that.
Oh, right. That's the upside.
That's it. That's it.
And if you want to take a good nap, that's the best.
Yeah, because when it's closing time, oh wee, I
Right.
love to hear that rain and be knocked out.
That me feel good.
We used to eat we used to go out in the rain as a kid. We used to go out in the rain and play. Come inside, make a tuna fish sandwich with sour cream and onion chips with some Kool-Aid,
Oh, I
eat
was
and
gonna
go
say
to
tuna fish
sleep.
and sour cream, but
Yes.
with the chips, oh, that's good.
Uh-huh.
That's perfect
Uh-huh.
right there. You
And
make
be
flash.
knocked out.
All right, honey, you ready?
I'm ready as it's gonna get.
All right, let's let everybody in and let's go.
You flick.
Let's get live. All right. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Hey,
Um,
welcome, y'all. We are here. We're back at the Craft Cafe live show featuring your host, myself, host of all things craft, LC, y'all. Welcome. I want to give everybody a time to get in. Thank you for your patience, everyone, because we pushed the time back on the East Coast because we have a special Midwest treat. Is that called the Midwest? I guess that's kind of like the middle.
it's called Middle Tennessee, so
Yeah, is Tennessee considered the South? No, right?
depends on who you're talking to.
It's Middle South.
Hmm.
Guys, we're here with Lenise Parker, you guys, and she is going to be getting into it. If you are not familiar with Lenise, aka Nisi Parker over here, you need to be here because she is out of Tennessee, family child care. I could say guru. She has been advocating for child care for decades now. And one of the pillars in not just her community, but nationally and representing the Tennessee nationally with the NAFCC. So super excited, super proud to have her on. Um, I got more people coming. I want everybody to introduce themselves so we can get into it. Lenise, how you doing?
I am great. How are you guys?
I'm
Thanks for having
wonderful.
me.
Of course. Somebody said, will you be at the conference, Lenise?
I'll be there.
Well, Mercedes, since you in there, let's introduce yourself. Come on
Let's
in here.
talk. Look, let's talk.
Good afternoon. It's good to be back because last time we was going through some technical issues. It's good to be back.
Yes, it was bad. Yes.
My name is Mercedes Fleet. I am the owner of Bright Little Scholars Early Learning Center. We have a group family location in one center, and we're in the process of expanding into another center now. We are NAFCC accredited out of Philly, so I will
Okay,
be
Philly.
in the at the conference next week.
All right, I'll see you next week. And
Yes, ma'am.
congratulations on all your accomplishments.
Thank you.
I know that's right. Y'all, if y'all watch the Craft Cafe, then y'all should know exactly who Mercedes Fleet is. She is an all-star, a craft all-star craft member, and she's been featured on this channel plenty of times with all of her greatness. I call her the Quiet Storm. You
Yes.
don't never hear her come. You just see all the stuff she done did,
That's how you
and
do it.
she busts a baby out every now and again while she's doing it, just like that. I love it. So let's see. So we got Sue. Sue, are you able to come and say hi? Because I know one of the things y'all at home, I always tell y'all that, our ECE leaders, they're always working. So half the time they're working while they're on here. So they might not have a chance to come on and say hi. But Sue, Apolta, thank you coming. Thank you for coming. I've been seeing you popping up at all the classes. So shout out to you, Sue. So if you can come on and say hi to everybody, introduce yourself, that would be lovely. Or pop it in the chat and I'll make sure that everybody knows who you are, where you're coming in from. All right. And Mercedes, you said you was from Philly, right? Okay, good. All right. So I'm excited because Philly is definitely one of our cousins because we're out of DC, but Philly, we go to Philly all the time. Oh, Sue says hi everyone. She's in here from Kansas. Shout out to the crew out in Kansas. We got a great group from y'all state. A lot of you guys super ambitious out there. So shout out to Kansas. All right, like I said, Philly, Jahi's from Philly, so you already know we spend a lot of time there. And then we got Lenise in here from Tennessee. So real quick, you guys, I want to just give y'all a quick backstory with me and Lenise. Now, Miss Nisi over here, we met at the, okay, I always mess up these things, FCCEF retreat in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's the Family Child Care Enrichment Foundation. Oh, down there led by Vantanet Savage, Alyssa, Omega, all of the ladies down there and guys now too. They got new members on the board. They have a brilliant board that has set up their second annual conference that is like no other, you guys. And I had the pleasure of sitting next to Miss Lenise. And I seen you before because we're always running around, but that was my first time actually sitting and talking to you. And we got into it. So I'm just really excited to have you on the show. And I want to get into it. I want you to tell us about yourself, like introduce yourself, and then I want you to start from the beginning. Like I want to get the origin story of how you even got into ECE.
So again, I'm Lenise Parker. I live currently in Tennessee. We moved here after Hurricane Katrina. I am Louisiana, New Orleans born and raised.
All right now.
And we, like I said, we lived in Louisiana till Hurricane Katrina. So I've been here 20 plus years. So I can say half my life has been in Louisiana, the other half has been in Tennessee. So I actually had a in-home childcare in Louisiana.
So it
And I
started
had to,
in
yes,
Louisiana.
yes. And
Wow.
so it closed down due to Katrina, and then we moved up here. So when we moved up here, Tennessee and Louisiana is like night and day. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go back to school, get a degree, because culture shock, right? Everything higher. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So went back to school, got my associate's degree, got familiar with the city that I moved to, and then when the need was greater again, I mean, when the need came up again for me to open my business, I said this would be the perfect time. So I just had clients that I knew from working, and I started from there.
Wow. So let's roll back. You said when you said 20 plus years ago, and I'm thinking I remember Katrina vividly because I was living in out here in DC, Maryland, and a lot of you guys were moved out here. Like we were like a refugee area. So I met so many people that came from Katrina, and it was so devastating. So to know how at the point where Katrina came, how long were you in childcare? Like how long had you had your son
It
up?
was about 3 or 4 years before
Wow.
Katrina came.
This, so let's roll back before that. Where did it all start? Like, did you always know you wanted to be in childcare?
I always had a child because I didn't start having kids till I was 19, 20. So it's six of us. My sister had kids, and I was just where the kids were. It was just me. I always had kids. So it was something I always knew. I always cared for people. It's just I was in the nursing field, now childcare field again. So it's just always been in me to take care of others.
So you started out taking care of others with the healthcare and then with the childcare. When was it then when it clicked and said, I want to make this a business?
It clicked when I started having my own children, and I'm like, if I'm taking care of my own kids, I could just, add some more kids and just make it a business. So that's really just how it started because I wanted my kids at home with me. So
Mhm.
that's how it started.
So did you start off by yourself or did you have anybody that helped you? How
I've
did that work
never
out?
had any help. I've never had any help.
Really?
It's just always been me. It's hard to find good help, and then I always want to pay my help well, and that's not a possibility in this field, as we all know, right? So
Yeah.
it's just predominantly always been me. I get some volunteers here and there, but nothing concrete, as I say, an employee.
Wow. So you decide that you're going to do a business and this is after you had like your first child.
After I had my first.
So how many kids did you start out with in your
Girl, so in
childcare?
Louisiana, it's different. You can have it's different. So when I moved to Tennessee, I was like, what? What's all this? I think I could have, it's been 20 plus years now. I think I've had like 6 or 7 at a time with no
Okay.
problem. With no problem.
Wow. So how were you able to get clients? You said you knew people, but that was your
Word of mouth.
hometown.
It's
Word of mouth.
it's it's always been word of mouth.
No, that's right. I love that. So how did it work with your family? Because one of the things in family childcare, I always like to ask because you have to open up your home to the new kids. And then, so that is, a new dynamic for your kids, your husband, your, immediate family that's going to come over. How did that work? How did that experience take place? Like that merger into home to business?
So before I do anything, I always discuss it with my spouse. And once I have his blessings, then there it goes. My mom knows some of the kids, my daughter know the kids. I mean, it's just like we just like really a big family.
Really? See, that's the
Mm-hmm.
aspect I love about family childcare because your family has no choice but to be a part of it because it's in your home, you know?
Right.
And one of the things we actually have some sessions coming up on craft where we talk about the interpersonal relationships between the owner and the spouse and how that dynamic affects the relationship and things like that. So I love that you said you were able to talk to him and get his support on it. You know what I mean? And then now,
Yep.
so you started when your first baby was little,
She was 1 or 2.
so she never knew life without the other kids.
Nope.
Okay, so how does that relationship work? Do they ever have like bonds, like sibling bonds and stuff like that because they grew up in there?
They absolutely do. Even when we moved away, they still talk and communicate.
Wow.
Hmm.
See, this is why one of the things I love about family childcare. So shout out to NAFCC, you guys, National Association for Family Childcare. That they were just talking about it. Their conference is coming up. Is this weekend?
It's next week. We start.
Next. So y'all gonna have a busy week. I'm not going this year. I usually go, but I'm not going this year. I got some other things that I need to be present for, but I know y'all gonna do it up. I know y'all gonna have a great time.
Great time.
Yes, the first time I went to a NAFCC conference was in New Orleans when they had it in
Okay.
New Orleans in 2021. So that's actually where I met Dantonette. So I was like, this is gonna be huge. So when I said I want to bring you on, I want to also talk about that transition to Tennessee because you said it's night and day, different worlds. I don't know about either of them, so I wouldn't even know. But I wouldn't know because I'm in marketing. That's why I always ask, how did you let people know? How did you market? So not knowing anybody coming into Tennessee, how did you restart? Especially, well, before we go there, how devastating was Katrina? Like, were you in the mix, like floating mattresses like they saw on TV?
So when Katrina actually hit, we lived in a city called Bogalusa, is north of Lake Pontchartrain. So we actually took the eye of the storm went over us and we caught the back winds. So for a long time they didn't even know we was affected the way we were. I mean, like trees were just in your yard, in the street, like no one could get in or out. It was crazy. And we were stuck like that for like 2 weeks before word got out and our mayor had to get the National Guard and stuff involved. But yeah, we ate MREs, everything. It was crazy. It rained from the inside of the home because all the shingles on the roof was off, so it rained inside. So it was mold in the carpet, in the walls, and everything. So when FEMA came, they was like, "You're gonna have to get these babies out of here."
Wow.
So we had to go. So
So,
when we came up here, my husband stayed back and got the house and stuff together. It took him a while to decide if he was going to make the move or not because he's been in Louisiana all his life as well. So I had already said I didn't want to raise my kids in Louisiana. That was just the thing that I was just ready to do. I was ready
before
to go. Yeah.
Katrina said that.
So
Okay.
I was like, okay, here we go. And so came up here and started living. It was some organizations that helped us. Her name is Liz Reese. She now have Brooks House here in Lebanon. And so different churches had events to help us get started. It was just an overwhelming support of the community that really took us in. And so we was like, we like it here, so we stayed. So I just started working.
I love that. Oh my goodness. So you started working. I love that you found the resources that can help you get back on track, restart. Now, how soon once you got there did you open up? Were you able to open up?
Well, it took me some years because like I said, I wanted to get familiar with the community. So I worked in surgery as a scrub nurse. And then as the kids got older, I couldn't do that time because some surgeries start like at 6, 5:30. So I had to find like before school care, after school care for them. And I was just like, this is crazy. So I see what other parents go through. So as they got older, I left the surgery side of it and went started working in L&D overnight. So overnight I was able to work and then get off work, take the kids to school, pick them up, doctor's appointments, whatever, and still was able to go back to work. And
So
then when I
cool.
left there, the kids
Sorry, that was me.
the kids got old. Okay, you're fine. So after I left the hospital altogether, I started working at a pediatrics office. And so from there, um, we ran into COVID almost. And then after COVID, I was like, let me just go ahead and start my business back up because is you just see how people was just desperate for childcare, needed childcare.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Isn't that something? Like that need will that's a calling, you know?
Yes.
And then you already knew what you was doing. So you had to so now walk me through it because you said it was totally different when you got to Tennessee. So did you had to start all your licensing over? Like what credentials did you already have that you could bring over, or did you have to like start from scratch?
Started from scratch.
Mm.
Started from scratch. And it was an eye opener because some of the things that Tennessee wants you to do to have children, Louisiana doesn't require those. And so you can have 4 in the state of Tennessee and not be licensed. Well, can you really make money like that?
Right.
So in order to have more than 4 unrelated kids, you have to go through the licensing process. So that was I had to go through that. Then I had to go through zoning and then fire marshal and codes. It was just a lot and it was just like mind blowing. And I'm like, if people have to go through this to open, I see why people just stay with the 4 and not even try to become licensed because it's just too much. It seemed like it's set up for you not to proceed because you
Yeah.
have all these different entities that they used to communicate at one point, and I think they're trying to get back on point to communicate because this one can't tell you what this one need, this one can't tell you what that one need, and so it's just like you got to figure it out as you go through it.
Goodness, that gets on my nerves though because it is a deterrent, especially for an industry where it's such in demand. It's like you said, it's like they purposely kind of put those barriers in front of you, you know? Wow, that is crazy. So now you've been doing this, you said 20 years after you.
Almost. Mm-hmm.
So how does that play out when, because one thing about family child care that I realize is it's a generational thing because of the fact you said word of mouth is pretty much your marketing strategy, right? So that means you get a lot of repeat customers. Do you have people that grow up and come back? Because if you've been doing it a couple decades,
I do have a lot that I see now, and they're grown with their own kids.
wow. Do they ever have you ever
Mhm.
had anybody bring their kids to you and you had them?
Well, they're still back in Louisiana, so
Oh,
it's yeah.
wow, I love that.
Hmm.
So it's like this is all making sense to me now because one of the things like once we met, I was like, let me look up and see what she got going on. And it was just all I saw was you speaking up and podiums and just going off. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, yeah. Like, because you had that spirit when we were talking, but I didn't know you did it in front of everybody. You know what I mean? Honestly, like we were just talking. I had no idea that you were an advocate. I just thought you were attending the conference, as an owner, and that's it. When I found out, I was like, wait a minute, you out here kicking down doors, girl?
I dabble a little, here and there. I
So
speak up when you have to speak up. Now, I'm quiet for the most part, but when I have to
yeah.
speak up, you're going to hear me.
No, that's right. So let me ask you this. When did you get into advocacy? Like what was the turning point? Because usually when people I know you went through a lot, especially like with the Katrina, but I'm sure that wasn't the end because I mean, come on, like you said, then you mentioned COVID. I'm like, oh God, we ain't even get the COVID. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what was the turning point in your career when you said, that's it. I'm putting my foot down. I'm speaking out. I'm not no more,
Well, actually, going through the licensing process was a big eye opener, and you had no one to help you navigate through that because everybody has their own set of requirements, but they can't tell you, oh, be prepared for X, Y, and Z. So it was like, why are we still it should be an easier process than this. And then
Yeah.
when you ask questions, they be like, well, it's always been that way. Well, that's not an answer to me. That's just like
Mhm.
a cop out or just to say just to say anything to try to hush you up. And if you can talk to my mama, she'll tell you that's not gonna happen because I want to know when, where, why, what does it still affect me today? How can I change this? Because we're not using those same that doesn't apply to us today. That maybe that applied years ago, but right now today that doesn't apply. So it kind of struck me then. I'm like, I gotta start saying something so I started meeting more educators. And so we was basically all talking about the same thing, but I'm like, we just talking amongst each other. We're not making no noise. Because I could call you and tell you something all day long, but if we're not telling the people that needs to hear this, then why are we just talking?
Yeah.
So I went to my first NAFCC conference and then I was like, I saw the other state reps and I'm like, okay, this might be something I'd be interested in. And so I left and came home. Never spoke about it, never even thought about it. And then I had an email asking me to become the state rep for Tennessee. And I was like, what's this about? You know me, I'm like, oh, I email back, thank you. I look at it, and I get back with you. Well, lo and behold, forgot all about the email. Bing, email again. I was like, oh, this might be it. So I had to Yes. So I'm
Answer that
like,
call, girl.
I was like, maybe this is my time to take this opportunity to actually help others to go through the process and let's advocate for ourselves. So I finally gave in after I prayed about it and talked about it because it's a big commitment
Yeah.
to just take on. And I've never done this before, never done this before. So,
And this is volunteer, right? This is not like a paid position. So you have to
mm-mm.
take this on in addition to all the work you got to do.
Yeah, yep,
Hats, well, I need a hat so I can take it off to you.
yep, absolutely. So I thought about it. I turned in, what was required to turn in, and no one else was running. So it was just me by default, right?
Right.
So, going through the process again, you asking questions, trying to get stuff done, and then if I feel like I'm bothering you, I'm not gonna keep asking you a question. I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna find the resource and find what I need to do out on my own. So I just started from there and just been asking questions, getting plugged in with different people, and the doors have just been opening, and
Wow.
we've been making some noise.
Oh, that's right. So let me ask you this. So with that, do you guys have a main association, family association for Tennessee?
If you look at Tennessee, they got a lot of associations and organizations for ECE. So you just got to pick which one you want to you want to belong to. I'm with the local organization with the other family and group providers. It's also called NAFCC Nashville Family
Oh,
mm-hmm.
These acronyms, damn.
Mm-hmm.
So Nashville. So you work with them. What do you do with that organization? Are you one of the board members or are you a member? Like
I'm
a
just a member. I'm not a board member with that organization. I'm just a member, and we have quarterly meetings, and things like that. My thing is I want to get the ladies more involved with outside of your everyday job. And so that's what I've been doing. So whatever crazy idea I come up with, they always down for it. And
for
I'll be
real. Like
thinking of
what?
some
Tell me an
things, yes.
example of what kind of stuff y'all do.
So we did our first day on the Hill. That's when we met Senator Charlene Oliver. So we did that. It came off with a hitch. We had some other local organizations to help us with that. It's the Rafa Institute and the Wake, and of course NAFCC. And we went to the Capitol and we just started talking about our everyday, struggles and what we go through as a home-based childcare business, small business. Um, but before that, we hosted our first day without childcare. And so that's where we met Senator Charlene Oliver, and we started having monthly meetings and things like that. And that led to us helping her pass a law to help us to get licensed within 90 days. It's called the Tennessee Red Tape Reduction Act. And so that went into act of effect July 1st of this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So we're doing some things. We're doing some things.
So did you guys what is it? Present that bill? I'm learning about this now because I got all of y'all advocates in my team now. So I'm like, well, how does this work? And I didn't know that anybody could suggest a law. What do they call it? Submit?
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
can
know
submit.
that.
So Senator Oliver and Representative Harold Love, we just told them about the things that we go through, the licensing process, and you know how you wait for this entity to call you back because you have to wait for like the city and the state to get your licenses approved before you can move up the ladder for DHS to approve you. So, with all the construction and all the building that's going on, we're not the first thing on their list. So there's no telling how we fit into their list when we submit our plans or submit our paperwork to, become a business. So she took that and she presented it and I'm still learning how that goes, but she made it, she was a sponsor for that bill.
Wow, I love that. I mean, I feel like powerful now. I'm thinking about what I want to submit. Like I don't really have any ideas
Yeah.
now, but that's why I love this show because it's able to bring people like you on that can tell us about what the procedure is. So what I'm so interested in with your advocacy is because when I think of someone starting out, let's say that they want to start a childcare business, and they want to start with family. What advice would you give to somebody new coming in? Let's say since you're in Tennessee, like in Tennessee, what give me like first three steps for somebody
The
that
fir- the first step is to make sure you know where you zoned. That's the biggest thing because
what do you
if you
mean know where
zone,
you zone?
so it, it's everything is a zone. So I'm in zone 6. I'm in the
Uh-huh.
city of Lebanon, um, the county of Wilson County, and it's zones. So it's zone 6, zone 7, zone 32, zone 23. Well, depending on your address, what zone you're in, you have different rules and regulations, and you're
What?
classified as either residential or commercial, or sometimes it could be both. So if you're residential, you're gonna have to go through the zoning board and codes so they can approve you if your neighbors and other people don't oppose it.
Oh, I
You
see
have to
what you're
go through a
saying.
meeting and you have to do paperwork, you have to pay money. It's a big to do. So that's the most important thing because I was almost finished with everything until zoning was like, hold up. We don't know about this because where you zoned. So I had to go through the zoning process, pay your
Wow.
money, put the sign in the yard, and if anybody wanted to oppose or support, they could call in. Um, and then you meet with your zone members, the zoning board, and then they say yay or nay. So if they'd have said
Ah.
nay, I wouldn't be here.
You would have did all of that for nothing?
Yes, and then there's no way to recoup your money back.
I mean, I know when you're building stuff, I know that kind of zoning. Like you got to know what zone you're in when you're doing
It's the
like a big
same
project. So
thing.
it's the same thing.
It's basically the same thing. You still have to go through zoning because every zone has their different rules and regulations. So for my zone where I'm at, what they had for childcare was either a nursery or a school. I was trying to be
Wow.
neither. So they
Wow.
really didn't know what to do with me because I was the first one to ever come to them with that request.
Wow. See, so you already knocking down doors and opening for people because people might not even ask. See, this is the type of
Right.
stuff that being a part of association is good for, because one of the things I tell my clients, I'm always asking them, are you a part of an association in your state or your city? And when they say no, I'm like, you need to be. Because one of the things,
Yes.
shout out to QUIP, Quality Influential Professionals, which Mercedes is a part of. She's one of the leaders there too. And I go to their meetings, I present their meetings, and I stay for the meetings because they have their presentations are like this. They have all kinds of reps from here and funders and all kinds of people that when the laws change, they bring them in front of everybody to talk about it, show it to them. It's just so like exclusive. And I was like, it makes me want to have a child care center in Philly because I'm like, I got all of my resources right here. And then what I think
Yes.
about is the people who don't have that type of support. They're literally just spinning their wheels, hitting the walls, you know? And it's not usually,
Oh, absolutely. Because if you're home, you're talking to infants and toddlers and preschoolers all day. You have no adult
yeah,
conversations, anything. So if you don't get yourself outside of that, it's gonna put you in, you're gonna always be in the four walls. And
yeah,
that's not good for anybody. That's
no,
not good for anybody. So I always encourage the ladies to get outside the house, do something different, get your mind off your business, do something different, mix, mingle, like you said, join associations, organizations, because they'll keep you going. And then you
yeah,
can see you're not the only one going through what you're going through, but yet they may have a resource that you can tap into that can
mm-hmm.
help you with your business. And I'm all for learning. I feel like you're never too old to
Nope,
learn anything. So I'm all for it. I'm with BCDI. I'm on their policy and
yep.
advocacy
Shout out to
board.
Black Child
I
Development.
just joined the local in NAACP. I mean, I'm trying to get into these organizations because you just need to get involved.
Yeah.
You need to get involved.
Yeah. And especially when it comes to family childcare, it's really hard because you're like you said, you're a man. Most of the time you don't even get to leave the house, let alone talk to another adult. You know what I mean? So it's like you really feel like you're alone. So you because you're not even seeing other people. So I always encourage, especially my family childcare clients, to have a network. Now, one of the things that I do like about a lot of my clients that's in family childcare, they've created their own community networks within the community. I mean, Mercedes got center-based programs, but one of the things she does is she collaborates with the local businesses around her and the local childcare professionals, because I think that's another ode to Quip. Because one of the things all of my members, my clients, I stalk their Instagram, their Facebook, like I follow them. So Mercedes, no, I be all in her business. I be knowing when the commissioner then came down there. Because she posted it and I'll be loving it. And one thing I will see with Mercedes, she'll have other providers come to her center and present or read stories, or if they have a separate business that does something a service wise, she's inviting them in to her. You know, so they're cross marketing each other. They're actually collaborating on, the education piece. And that's one of the real flexes of being a part of something. And I encourage everybody to do it, especially when it comes to, like you said, businesses. Now,
And that's important.
it
That's very
is.
important.
Yeah. And then, like you said, just like how you guys, that's why I love the Craft Cafe, you guys plug for the show. Come on in here and actually put your information in the chat. We're on Zoom, so you're not giving it to Facebook. You're giving it to the people that's in this room. And you're able to network with people in different parts of the country that you probably not gonna walk past unless y'all go to the conference. And not everybody can make it to the conference. It can be expensive, and you might not have the capacity to shut down. So I always want to have a safe space where people can come and mingle. It's not so serious. It's not a class. We can come and talk about the real issues of what's going on and talk about the successes. Like you said, just getting the bill passed, that's a flex. You know what I mean? And
And it
a
used, from my
stride.
understanding, they said it usually take years to
Really?
do
And how long
like
did it
that.
take y'all?
We just did it this year, like February was our first day on the hill. Hmm.
And it's accelerating. So see, that's why we got to keep fighting because it's working. And I'm just so another thing I want to know from you, like I want you to be able to kind of talk about what are the needs in Tennessee that so other people that's in Tennessee they can come into the fold and show up with some of that. You know what I mean? Or be a part of it because I'm sure there's people like you that want to speak up, but they don't have nobody calling them or emailing them to say, come on and do this. You know what I mean?
Well, see, we also have a monthly meeting, and CCR&R, they help send those flyers out as well. It's just trying to get these ladies to get tapped in because again, we get so bogged down with our business that when they go down for nap, you have so much to do.
Yeah.
But then when things happen, they're like, oh, I missed that. Honey, y'all got to get plugged in. Y'all got to tap in. We have to get out of that same routine. We have to get outside of the box because did I ever think that we'll be going to the Capitol fighting for laws and trying to get things changed? Absolutely not. But here we are because if we don't fight for ourselves, no one else is going to do it. And we can't just continue to be complacent and then just when the rules trickle down the pipeline, we just be mad and well they ain't ask well honey, they not gonna ask you if you're not in the rooms to be asked. Like you gotta make yourself present, you gotta make yourself known, you gotta figure out who's over here and who's over there, and you got to plug it in and you have to it's a constant because we got money issues in Tennessee. We got zoning issues in Tennessee. And everything is not on the Department of Human Services. We got laws that's being made that they can't do anything. They have to follow those laws just like we do. So we got
Yeah.
to take it to the people who make those laws
That's
and
right.
let them hear us because if they don't hear us, they don't know what's going on. They don't know how it's going to affect us. They don't know how oh, if you implement this, this is going to hurt this, and this. So you just have to make sure you stay educated on what's going on. Like we be in a bubble. We got to get outside that bubble and see what's going on because they put stuff into play for us all the time that we don't know anything about because we're not tapped in.
That's true. It slips through. That's why I rely heavily on my political friends because I'm not a political person. Like I don't really know everything this person stands for and what they about to do and all of that. So I have my best friend is in the government. So if it's something serious, she gonna call me. And then I have another friend who's always watching the what's happening with Trump and the budgets and stuff. Cause my anxiety is too high for that, honestly. Like it's gonna stress me out too bad if I sit and watch it. So I just tell my friends that care about it all the time, tap me when I need to do something. And
Right.
that's just being honest. That's why I'm so intrigued with y'all that go up and protest and testify because I've been an activist in my life. I feel like my whole life. So I like that. I got that spirit. But right now I haven't really been shaking my fist at anything, too much. But I have been I do the family childcare walks and stuff like that for awareness. So what what would you say to a person to start, like let's say somebody like me who I don't really know the first step to getting out there and protesting or anything like that. What could somebody like me do to get started kind of making a difference from my little seat?
Just what you're doing now, making it aware, just speaking, even if you don't know what to do you could make a Facebook post. You could, because that's where everybody headed to, right? The internet. They were like, "What's your Instagram handle? What's your TikTok? What's your Facebook?" Everybody, LinkedIn, everybody is plugged in on the internet. And I'm not a big internet person, y'all. I will post something today and be done forgot I posted it and be having comments, and I'm like, "Oh snap!" I hope they're not thinking I'm being rude because I haven't responded. Because it's just like when the kids wake up, you just don't know what the day hold for. You know, when they
A
come in,
lot.
you just don't know what the day hold for you. So I could probably post something at 7 o'clock, and then the day turn into a day, and I'm like, oh man, So I had no clue. I just, you know how they say you walk by faith and not by
Yeah.
sight? You literally just have to step outside of your comfort zone. And if it's on your mind and your heart, you really just have to do it. Because it's really women that's changing the game, right? We
Hmm.
have some men, but when something happened, it's always women who bring the attention to the issues, and we
Yeah.
always are vocal about it. And
Yeah.
I learned this because I'm also a child care change maker, and I went to a lot of their leadership classes. And so what stuck out to me in one of the classes, they was like, what lie have we been told to keep our voices from being heard? And
Mhm.
so I had to really ponder on that, because I'm like, wait a minute. And I've always heard women are to be seen and not heard.
That's true. So it might be in the back of your mind.
It is. It
Yeah.
always plays a part. And I'm like, but if you don't speak up,
Hmm.
then how is anything gonna change?
Yeah. I love that you said that the women, because I just did a live with my intern Rob, who's a guy, and I did a
I
whole
saw that.
you saw that? I did a
Yes,
whole
I love that one.
series
Yes.
with Jamal, also Jamal Berry. He's the CEO of Educator DC, and he is also one of the leaders of the DC men in ECE. And I talk about that piece too of bringing more men into the field and having that balance, and them bringing their voices, because you're right, people do listen to men stronger, especially if most of the people making the laws are men. When they see a man,
Absolutely.
they probably, I think they would look at our industry differently. I believe they would take our industry more seriously when they start to see more of that balance. Because one of the
Hmm.
things we talk about in those conversations with surrounding bringing men in, a lot of the barrier for men is the pay. Because men are looked at as they're supposed to be the breadwinners. They're not supposed to be, not to be like that, having a low salary. You know what I mean? They got to take care of all their kids, their wife, and everything. So it doesn't show up as something that you would see as a high paying job or a high paying career. So, and I think that's why they don't look at us as a pay, because they look at, okay, y'all women, y'all can handle it. Y'all already doing it anyway. You know what I mean? What's a couple more kids? You know what I mean?
And that goes back to back in the days.
It
Who always
does.
kept way back in the days
But that's why I think it's
doing.
important to bring men into the fold, because I feel like they'll start to take it more seriously when they see men coming in for real education positions, and like Jamal and Rob was talking about, and not to drive the van or carry the boxes or to handle the unruly children, or what I mean, like the challenging kids, being respected as real educators. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I think that's when they're going to start to see, once they see that gender balance, they're going to really start to identify us as a profession,
Absolutely.
and get that respect.
I
Because I feel
see
like
that.
until we get that respect as a profession, all of the issues that's going on right now with the overlooking, the all of this red tape when it comes to getting your business started, the lack of funding that they put aside
Oh
for
my God.
us.
Yeah, because they don't, it's not important.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And I have a speaking engagement tonight for a candidate who's running for office, and she spoke at our Day Without Childcare event. If we don't have more people in at the Capitol in these seats that make these laws to advocate and to help push the law for us, we'll never get anywhere, because like you said, most of the men that we talked to on the Hill didn't have a clue
No.
of what we did or what it takes to run a business. And I think sometimes the lack of respect comes because you're doing it from your home.
Oh, that's definitely a thing, because y'all that know me know I grew up in family childcare. And that is why I fight so hard for y'all, because my sister, shout out to my sister Denise, she is my muse for this business. Because growing up as a teenager, my sister was a teen mom and she always wanted her own daycare. And she was like, you know what, forget it, I'm just gonna do it in my house. And people were like, what? Nobody's gonna bring their kids to your house. Oh, please. And she was like, no, people do it in their house. Because she had rented out like a brownstone. And you know how big brownstones in Brooklyn are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's 3-4 floors. So I was like, don't you worry, Denise, you're gonna start your business and we're gonna do it in the house, like you said, and I'm gonna help you. So I saw all the doubt and all the how do you say, the sneers, like please. Ain't nobody bringing
Mm-hmm.
nobody to your house. And when I tell you, we was full within the week.
Yeah.
Okay. We had infants all the way from 6 months to up to 4 years old. And we were full because my sister already had 3 kids of her own. So you know that we filled up quick. And I used to literally cut school to work at this daycare because I was so proud of my sister. And what I was proud of was the fact that she did it anyway, even though people tried to discourage her and didn't feel like people would respect her business
Right.
because it was in a
Still to
home.
this day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw was these parents, not only did they respect it, they relied on it. You know what I mean? Like the relief I saw on their face when they would drop them babies off. And one of the things I want to touch on before we get on here that I love about family childcare is the relationships you build with the parents. Because
Oh,
we had some first time moms that were like, my sister already got 3 kids at this point and she's in her early 20s. So these are women that are older than my sister, but my sister has so much experience, not just with childcare, but with her children plus the family. You know, you in your family, you're that person too. So you've been doing this since you were a kid. So like she would give them so much peace of mind with the advice. They would be like, I don't know what's happening with her. She's going through this. And I remember one time there was a mom who the baby had cradle cap and she couldn't, my sister used to make her own oils for it and used to tell the moms, then like thrush in the mouth, like those things that, little home remedies. My sister would be like, oh no, I put some of this on, some yogurt on it and she's fine. Tell me a little bit about what that part means to you. Because not only are you, educating children, you're bringing them the love of a mother. How is that with coaching and, your relationship with the parents that come through your place? That's what I want to talk about before we get out of here.
so my first Hispanic family was just as you said. She was new to the state. Um, very, they keep their kids close. They really don't they really don't have childcare. They usually be keeping, the family members
The
keep,
family,
but
yeah.
again, her spouse were here, by themselves with the baby. And so I used to pick her up, take him, help her take him to the doctor, bring him because it's just something that needed to be done. And it helped her get comfortable because I'm just not here for that child. And I always tell my parents, I'm not only here for the child, I'm also here for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got to work together.
Partnership. That's why I love family chocolate, because you have an opportunity to do that. Now I know, like with Mercedes, you have a few locations. So trying to get really time in with the parents can be hard because you have so many kids, you know what I mean? But when it's a lesser setting, you can actually have that one-on-one time and girl, sit down and get something to eat type of deal. You know what
Yes,
I
you
mean?
got to have those
Lunch.
moments. And then I try to help them do whatever paperwork. And I also, whatever goes on with the rules and regulations, license, whatever, I always make sure they know. Like it's an open book.
I love that.
Mhm. I keep communication. Communication could either make something great or it could break it down. So I always tell them we have to have communication. If you don't tell me what's going on, I don't know, and I can't even plug in the resources to try to help you navigate through whatever you are going through. And so she just I'm her the Hispanic lady I was telling you about.
Mhm.
I'm her children's godmama.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
because we just bonded like that. And she was like, Mimi, I remember I just didn't know what to do. And we was just here alone and you just took us in and I spoke with her mom. I spoke to her husband's mom. Like we all we all know each other. So it's just a beautiful thing. It's really a beautiful thing. And she'd tell me every now and then, I just remember when I first had him, I was afraid to let him, go because no one else has ever kept him, but you kept encouraging me. You kept everything open. I have an open door policy with the parents. Y'all can come in anytime. It's nothing to hide here. It's nothing
Mhm.
to hide. You can come in, and we even used to do cooking days. She'd come in and make a dish. Yeah, we
Really?
did. Yeah, we did all that. She taught me some Spanish, and I taught her some things in English, and that's just the way it went.
I love
So it's
that.
it's it's a great connection when you can make those connections with those families.
I love that piece. And like I said, that is the part of ECE that when they're doing funding and doing like that, and talking about the regulations, they don't even think about that. They don't even know about that half the time, that that's the type of thing that goes on. And so let me ask you this. Do you have any maybe I don't want to say parent groups, but parent activities that you might launch at your place or anything like that, things you do with the parents intentionally?
We do. I always tell them they help me with my curriculum. So I'm like, what do you want your child to learn this week or next week? Or just send me some ideas. And I have if they see something on TikTok or whatever, bam, bam, my phone just bing, 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 bing. We doing this. What field trips do you want to take? Like where do you want the kids to go? And that's what we plan and we do it. And I get some volunteers because of course nothing can go down without the volunteers.
I know that's
And we
right.
just go through that. Or if they come up with an idea, I'm like, okay, can you grab this supplies? Can you get that? Can we get that? And then we just make it happen. We tried different fruit from different places. I had somebody we had star fruit, dragon
I
fruit,
was
like
thinking
all kind of
Starfruit
exotic
first.
fruits, and we just had a fruit day, and everybody just chipped in. It has to be all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has to get in. Everybody has to contribute something to make it work because, like I tell the educators on our meetings, there's no I in team.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want things to get done, we have to work together collaboratively to get some things done.
I love that. And you keep saying volunteers. Where, what's your strategy? Because people need to know how to do that because a lot of times that's what stops people because they don't have anybody and they don't have money to pay somebody. How are you getting volunteers? Come on now.
Again, word of mouth.
So what do you
I
do?
get
You just
I
ask
get the
around?
so some of my volunteers is actually the parents' children.
Oh,
So I had one of my parents, they needed volunteer hours for school. Come on,
okay.
look, come
Community
on
service.
over. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
come on over. My mom, before she moved, she had a lot of friends here. Who doesn't like to sit and rock a baby? Oh,
Right.
hello. Or text, hey, can you come over here and help me today? I just need you to sit and hold this baby while I go,
I love
make
that.
breakfast or do something. So you have to tap in because you will run yourself ragged if you don't have any type of support, any type of help. So I'm all for it. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yes, say that again. Because one of the things, especially in family child care, everybody is one man. So they can do everything themselves and they will burn themselves out.
Absolutely.
You
You will burn
know?
yourself out if you don't phone a friend. What's that game? Phone a friend that you
Yeah,
get when you need the answer to.
lifeline. Get a lifeline.
Yes. Hey,
I
call,
think
text.
it's the ego though, because y'all so used to being so strong. A lot of times
Let
people
me
don't
tell
know
you
how to
something.
ask for help
Let me tell you something. That gets you nowhere. But in a hospital bed, because you done depleted your body.
or
Because your body
all of
gonna
that.
sit you down eventually if you don't
If
stop
you
trying to
don't,
be the shero and just try to, all right, I got it. Look, hello. Yes, you have to. And you have to make those connections with other educators because you don't know who they know. They could be
Mhm.
like, hey, I got somebody that can come over. You know, I just saw in Memphis where a educator, she's helping other educators on like field trips and stuff. So you just never know what can happen once you get outside of yourself. Because
Yeah,
we always, what is that saying? This our nose despite our we cut our nose off
nose off
despite
to
our
spite our
face.
face. Yeah,
Yes. we can get in our own way at times, and that's not a good thing.
I
We
love that you
too,
said that. The
yes.
collaboration for things, and you said like trips. I think that's a great idea, especially in family childcare, because the bigger the group, the bigger the discount. So if y'all all put in on the same day, y'all could get it probably half the price for a trip somewhere
And
cool.
these educators, I don't know if they think just because we work inside of our homes that we're uneducated or we don't have resources or we can make things happen.
Yeah, that's
And
definitely
so
not the
we
case.
that's what we do. We make
Y'all
it
be in there.
happen.
I love this. So you have a speaking engagement tonight. I was going to say what's next, but I know you have the speaking engagement tonight with the person that's running, the politician
Hmm.
that's running for office. What else is next? Okay, we got okay, I know that we like I'm asking you like I don't know. I know that the NAFCC conference is coming up. What are you going to be
I'm
doing there?
graduating from Leaders Shaping Leaders.
LSL, yeah.
Yes, LSL cohort 5, yes. And
Congratulations.
my partner, Nashanae Hopkins, she's in Memphis, so we can't wait to get together and celebrate that. And I'm gonna tell you what our capstone project is trauma informed. So we're gonna,
Uh-oh.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. That's big in our industry, right? We
Yeah.
big in our community. So we gotta tap into those because we don't. I'm gonna tell you a little bit, but I know we gotta go, but
No, I'm
I'm
good. You keep going.
I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, he was knocking on doors.
So, yes, but you couldn't get involved with the things I'm involved with now. But if you don't know, you don't, because you don't deal with politics at all. You
That's
don't.
true in
Hmm.
that space. Yeah.
Yes. So this is really when I say new to me, I'm serious. It's new to me.
Wow. Well,
So,
see,
and then it's trauma that in our black communities we don't talk about because what were we told? What goes on in my house stays in my house.
yeah, yeah.
My mama used to say, and she gonna get me for saying this, but just do what I ask you. Don't ask me any questions. Just do as you told. Well, baby, the way my mind work, I need to know when. Like I told you,
Yeah,
I
why
need
are
to
we
know
doing this?
so
Yeah,
I won't
exactly.
repeat the same thing again. So tell me why this was so wrong, so I know. Oh, don't do it this way again, so I can learn from it.
Yeah. I
So
love
I'm
that.
just all out the box, honey. I just go against the grain all the time.
That's what you're supposed to do. Come on now, we need
I go
that.
against the grain all the time.
We had a class on craft by Cynthia MB Robinson. You probably know her. She's definitely down with NAFCC and everything. She's always at the conferences. And shout out to Leadership and Leaders, you guys. Ode to Better Futures because they created that program with NAFCC. So super proud of everybody that has come out of that program for the years that we've been working with NAFCC and creating that program. We see all of you guys that have been through that program doing so many amazing things. So I'm definitely super proud to be a part of that. And
That's
right,
great.
yeah, that's why I'm so excited that they have it and you can take those projects, those capstone projects, and actually do them in real life. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
you guys do that. And I love when I'm a part of those kind of things. So when it comes to the trauma informed, like I said, we have Cynthia MB Robinson who just did a class called Generational Health. Everybody's all about wealth, generational wealth, but she talked about that, especially like in the Black community where we have these traumas that are passed down, these secrets that are kept and it's killing people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Slowly, everybody got diabetes and high blood pressure. It ain't always because of the food. You got all of this trauma and pain, it comes out in other ways. So I'm glad
Absolutely.
that you guys are doing that piece with the trauma informed because we need a lot of that. And shout out to you, Mercedes, with all that you do for special needs and autism and all of those different things because that's all of the types of supports that we need, but it's far and few between. And a lot of times,
Oh, and
go ahead.
Mercedes, look, I have she's actually an Alabama rep for NAFCC. She specialized with neurodivergent children. So when I talk to you, Mercedes, we're gonna exchange some more phone numbers with her too.
Yeah. And shout out to Catherine Para, aka Frolic the Fox. She does the same thing with her transitional music and songs for neurodivergent
Okay.
and autism spectrum people, not just children. She actually did a session for the police department to help them.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
that's
does all of
amazing.
that, help them uh calm their nervous system down from trauma and PTSD and all of that. So, when you're thinking of these are adults going through it, imagine how much it's affecting these children.
And that's my thing. These kids have a lot of emotions that they cannot control and they can't understand and they can't process it. So it always look like behavior issues. But do they really take the time out to figure it out?
Yeah, they
Some
just want
don't.
to give them an
Some do,
IEP.
some don't. Yes, they just, yep, exactly. There you
Hmm.
go. So if we can get started on them earlier to understand that, hey, just, zip codes determine your health and your wealth
Yeah.
according to the ACEs, but it's also some things that's not in ACEs that may affect us. I've never seen anything like religious trauma.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. And then all of these cults that's coming out. I don't know if you've
That's what
seen it.
I'm
Like there's
exact.
like
That's
I always thought of not no offense to y'all white people, but I always thought of cults as a white thing. Now I'm seeing black cults and stuff like that. And it's a lot of trauma because people are and then even the trafficking these days of children,
mm-hmm.
they're finding a lot of children now. And
Mm-hmm.
they just had a big bust in somewhere in the country where they found like 100 and something children that
So
were
yes.
missing. And
Yep.
imagine the trauma these children have
Mm-hmm.
been gone through. Who's gonna be there to catch them when they land? You know?
Absolutely.
So
Or
we
we
need
just
we
gonna
need more
label
of
them
that.
and push them off to the side.
Throw them to the wolves, and then, like you
Yep.
said, and they end up in jail.
Repeated cycle. It's
Yeah.
it's a vicious cycle that's repeated. So we gotta get away from that. And again, that's where I don't mind learning because I'm endorsed through AIM High. AIM High is mental health in Tennessee. I went through those programs. So
Okay.
I'm steadily trying to do what I need to do to not only better myself, but help the community that I serve.
Hmm. I love that.
Because you just never know what family you're going to encounter.
You
And
don't.
not to say anybody will purposely do anything to harm a child. We could do stuff that is just because we was taught,
Yeah.
and it could be taught to us the wrong way. So it's always good to learn a new way of doing things.
Right. And then you'll have that space in your mind for it. So it's not like
Hmm.
one way.
Yep.
Wow. I love this. And I just want to thank you, Nisi, for coming on here and sharing your story because I was thinking about the whole Katrina thing and then, switching areas. Do you get to go back to your hometown a lot? Do you ever go
I
back?
used I used to go back a lot, but honey, the world is so big. I'm trying to go other places.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Well, that's why I say let everybody know how they can join you, how they can get more of you, how they can get connected to you. I'm gonna pop it in the chat or you could pop it in the chat, and I'm gonna put it in the Facebook chat too. Like,
Well,
if
I can put my email.
okay,
Let me
yeah,
put
put
my
your
email in the
email.
chat.
So, especially if we have people that's local to where she is in Tennessee that want to get involved, want to be a part of the next Day Without Childcare, that want to be able to go down there and shake their fists in people's face about it. And really, one of the things Jamal said is you can write letters to but I don't know where to write the letters. So what you can do is send me the what people can do and I can post it and stuff like that. Because oh, here we go. I'm gonna post her
That's
email,
my
you
Gmail.
guys. All right, for you guys that's watching at home, okay? Because you might have something to say or some questions on how to get involved. And really, I want this to be a resource for everybody so that they can.
Because we're working on our next day without childcare. We're working on our next day on the hill. And I'm working on hosting meet the candidates Zoom meeting in September because we have to be plugged in with those candidates, like I was telling you earlier. We have to just like they ask us, we're taxpayers, right? So I want you to tell me what you're gonna do to help my small business thrive.
Right. Y'all work for me.
Yes.
And that's
And
what they're
they demand,
supposed to do. Yeah.
and I talked to somebody that was like, "Oh, I don't want my money going into childcare because I don't have any kids." I
Oh,
said, "How do you know where your money is going? We all paying for stuff that we didn't want to pay
right,
for. But if you see that 12 cent here, that 13 cent there, that 10 cent there, you don't know where it's going.
right,
We don't know what our tax dollars are really paying for.
right. I'm not
Or
running
if we
in front of
do,
the White House.
we didn't probably vote for it because some things gonna go your way and some things not. So, and then we're taking care of the future. We're taking care of kids who's gonna take care of us.
That's right. Like you said, the
So
future. Say it again.
why don't you want them to be in the best facilities and learning the best and then getting the best type of nurturing and education that they can at an early age? Because these are critical times that we're dealing with these children from birth to five. Like that's the most critical times in these kids' lives.
Yeah.
So why not make sure the educators are adequately supported and funded to make sure the children have a better outcome as well?
Right, because they're gonna grow up real fast and be the leaders, and your old self will be in the chair at their mercy. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I like you. This is for you, because we're gonna be all old. Hopefully, if we blessed enough to make it to be old, and they're gonna be the new adults, the new legislators, the new people in those positions. And then what? You want them to be crazy and wilding out here? We need
And
to
don't know
love
how to
on these
control their
kids.
emotions and,
Thank
and things
you,
like
and
that. So
raise
come on,
them in the
people, come
right
on,
way.
world.
Yeah.
We have advocates that have been advocating for 40 plus years. I told Miss Connie that last night, and I said, and where have we gotten?
Right. Right. So we definitely can't give up, especially while we're trying to get some momentum. Just like pushing that baby out. Once you stop, you gotta start all over again.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Wow. Well, guys, I'm so excited for this. Happy summer, you guys. And Lenise, thank you for bringing yourself over here to the Craft Cafe and for all that you do for child care. And even though you're at family child care, I know you fight for all child care, and that's really what it comes down to. We are one. A lot of times they try to make a separation because, of course, it's not exactly the same. But at the end of the day, the goal is. So
Absolutely. We're one band, one sound when we're taking care of these children. It head starts, centers, groups, home, we're all in the same boat.
that's right. That's right. Well, we already over time, but I don't mind because I love to hear it. Well, guys, we're gonna go ahead and land this plane. I want to thank everybody for coming out today, everybody that watched from home, and everybody that's gonna watch this on our YouTube channel. So go over there and watch, subscribe, and like and share over at the Craft Cafe live channel on YouTube, you guys. And make sure you reach out to Miss Nisi if you have anybody. If you're in that area, especially if you have anybody in that area, make sure they know about these organizations. Make sure they're connected with NAFCC and both NAFCC,
Right.
because the other one is
The
the
local
same
and the
Nashville
national.
though. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and just keep fighting, you guys, and make sure you're connecting with people. Shout out to the craft members. We're gonna go ahead and land this plane. I put some links in the chat for you guys so that if you want to become a member, if you're not a member, try it for free today for 30 days at www.betterfuturesdc.com/plans-pricing, you guys. And I will see you guys later at the next Craft Cafe. Enjoy your summer. We don't have any live webinars in July, so go ahead and live it up. I know I will be. I'm leaving
Yes,
right
ma'am.
now. All right, y'all. Take care. See y'all later.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you.